The Mizuno Wave Cup SS Japan is probably my favorite football boot of all time, outside of the Nike Hypervenom Phantom 3. Hypervenom 3 just has a little bit more history to it. I played in it a lot more. But objectively, this is the greatest football boot of all time. Now, thanks to Cleats Corner _1, I have the Grail pair that actually was part of the video that I did several months ago on my 7 boots that I always have wanted to own. These are the remakes, but they are the Wave Cup Legend in the Rivaldo blue, yellow, and white. Now let's get these unboxed. Now this box is a little bit tattered up, but that's because it is the Wave Cup Legend and they've come from overseas, so it really doesn't matter to me all that much because they're gonna sit in the boot wall anyway. Probably won't even keep the box, but that's just a me thing. I know a lot of collectors and stuff will keep them because it does the thing for the value, but like I want these forever, so why would I care? Anyway, Wave Cup, made in Japan, special colorway. So these actually came out in 2020 alongside of the Rebula Cup, which was in white and blue. So these are the Wave Cup Legend, my regular US 9, UK 8.5, Euro 42, and Japan 27 or 27 centimeters. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the oh my days of oh my days over oh my days. Oh my God. Oh my God. These are so cool. I haven't seen these in person. Oh my Lord. Look at those, man. Wow. Given that this is my favorite boot of all time, this might be the peak of my football boot journey. This might be it. Oh my days. Look at this boot. This is also basically my brand blue. I'll have Kelvin put some logos and stuff up on screen. This is like basically my brand blue. Look at how beautiful those are. Now, from a construction perspective, again, genetically identical in every way, aside from 1 or 2 minor things, which I'll talk about in a second. But these are absolutely beautiful football boots. These are the greatest, man. These are the grails right here. 2 of 7 done, which is so cool. So let's get this one out of the box as well. Put the box on the ground and we will talk about this unbelievable pair of football boots. So this was, as I mentioned before, a 2020 release, and these ones are the Wave Cup Legend as opposed to the Wave Cup SS Japan. Functionally, they're the same football boot for the most part. This was launched alongside as a sort of, I think it was called the Rebuild Pack, I'm pretty sure, or the Rebuild Edition. This one and a Rebula Cup, for those of you who don't know, the Rebula Cup I have reviews of way back when, and I reviewed I think actually the partner version of this. It was it might have been actually the 2020 model. And then I also reviewed a Ruby Red edition, or Ruby Red colorway. It wasn't actually the Ruby edition from this recent pack. Very cool football boot. It was essentially their control kind of power boot. It was the follow-on from the Ignitus series. It was sort of like an Ignitus, but it was all K-leather, but didn't have any synthetic shot shield type of materials. So it was a very interesting football boot. The shape of it was beautiful, and actually the new Proto, the Morelia Proto that has the AG plate from the Innovation Pack, is has a lot of that DNA. So if you're interested in the Rebula, you can look it up on my channel or several other reviewers that have the Rebula Cup reviews out. This is the homage that Rivaldo wore for the 2002 edition, which was the celebratory colorway for Brazil winning that World Cup, with of course the Brazil blue color with the yellow accent marks, the 5 stars for their 5 World Cup wins. And this is just an insanely beautiful pair of football boots. It is a full K-leather upper with the quilted stitching in it as well. So a very nice stitch pattern, gives you some really good adjustability while keeping a lot of the upper structure, which is really nice. And then you also have on the sole plate, this was the epitome or the crux of sort of a bunch of testing that Mizuno did back in the day for the optimal stud pattern for FG surfaces that also Rivaldo sort of signed off on. And then you have the wave unit back here that provides essentially a little bit of a cushion. So it was very much ahead of its time in terms of the technology that was in this pair of football boots. Of course, the iconic fold-over tongue design and this beautiful blue K-leather upper that is just stupid soft. Now, if we put this one, actually I'll use the right shoe here, and we put the left shoe of the Wave Cup SS Japan, you can see there is a very slight difference in the way that the heels look. Now, this may just because this is a newer model, but my understanding is that the SS, because it's a couple years later, they've basically just done something like that. So they've made the shape just slightly more together and a little bit more narrow. I could be just completely BSing you guys, but that's what my guess is, particularly because of the way that the shaping around the top part of this heel is. So my guess is they've just taken the material in ever so slightly just to make it a little bit more compact on this new edition. But in terms of the finish, in terms of the way that the sole plates are, obviously this one's a little dirty because I've used it quite a bit. These are genetically identical football boots. They use all of the same features, all of the same materials as well. Same design, just slightly different colorways, which is really cool. My understanding too, the reason why this is such a special pair for me is because I'm pretty sure they only released about 3,000 of these, and they were only available, technically speaking, in Japan or Japanese markets. And so they weren't numbered, but to have a pair of Mizuno football boots that are under 3,000 pairs made, or about 3,000 pairs made, is pretty cool. It's a beautiful pair of football boots. I am so excited. We're going to go dabble out on pitch and not probably do a full training session just because I want to keep these really beautiful, but I do want to play in them and give them a little bit of a show off because I enjoy these so much, and ones that have essentially my brand color is also pretty sweet. So let's jump out on pitch. All right, fam, we are out here on the pitch with the greatest football boot of all time, the Mizuno Wave Cup Legend. Wave Cup SS, same. I'm literally just gonna juggle with these, not do anything else on the pitch. So if you're here for a play test, go watch the white Wave Cup SS model instead of the Legend. This is a boot that I wanna keep as pristine as possible because these are absolutely incredible. So here we go, let's get these on feet. And I'm gonna guess these are gonna fit identically to the SS model, which is great in all the best ways because those are near perfect. Oh yeah, wow, holy. Oh, these are so good, man. This is one of those football boots that you just have to try. And I know that they're pretty limited. They're pretty hard to get, both in this color and in the Wave Cup SS colorway. Recently, Cleats Corner _1, who I got these from, like he has a couple pairs I've seen in a couple different colors, and then Tokyo Football is really the only other one that I've seen have these. But these are, I mean, that's the perfect football boot right there. That's all you ever need. It's a stud pattern that's actually pretty aggressive, and they're pretty good for AG surfaces. They're really good for FG surfaces. And then this upper, for whatever reason, I think it's either the stitching pattern or it's the way that they've shaped this boot because of the lasting on this different sole plate. But this boot, for whatever reason, fits so much more anatomically correct than the Morelia 2. Not to say that the Morelia 2 is by any means uncomfortable, because it's not. It is it's probably behind this one in terms of like the two most comfortable football boots ever. But these ones just have this like beautiful ergonomic fit to them, and they feel absolutely perfect. So touch on the ball is immaculate. It is everything you would want from a classic leather football boot. The way that the stud pattern feels underfoot is really organic, actually, despite them being technically an FG stud pattern. And so as you're turning and as you're making sharp cuts, even though there's a lot of studs sort of clumped into one area here in this kind of the ball of your forefoot, it doesn't feel like you're running on skates, if you will. And that wave tech in the heel is actually kind of a little bit bouncy. So as you're moving around and you're doing all sorts of different turns and tricks and whatever you like to do on the ball, these support you in every possible way. So in terms of the fit, the feel, These are basically perfect. I love the design. It's iconic, it's timeless, and in terms of touch, feel, everything, these are easily, I mean, look, I think these are probably the best football boot ever created. I think they're that good. The fact that this is basically a one-to-one remake and you have a boot that still holds up to today's standards in terms of the way it performs, and the fact that this is better than pretty much every other leather boot on the market, despite these being more than 2 decades old, says all you need to know. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video of an absolute grail pair of mine. I have been looking for these for a very long time, obviously created the video, and then Cleats Corner reached out and was like, hey, would love to hook you up. Absolute goat, appreciate you very much. Go check his information down in the link below. I will leave his Instagram handle and the link and stuff down there. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, be awesome, take care. See y'all in the next video.